From curator to referee, he's done them all. He's been a bowler, a captain, a manager, a selector and an umpire. But what is he himself actually like? Well, that's what I intend to find out, so stick with me as I introduce you to the legendary FTF Venkataraghvan. Welcome to the program, Venkat.
Thank you, Karan.
I gather you virtually grew up playing cricket and you had your own private nets in the family garden, is that right?
That's absolutely right, yes. In fact, we had our own cricket wicket in the yard, backyard, so to say. And then what I used to do is just go and lay the mat and stumps and all that, wait for the elders to come and bowl to them for a little bit. And after that, if they condescend, probably they'll bowl to me.
So almost with your baby food, you were imbibing the rules of the game.
Oh, well, that's too early. But I did try to learn the laws of cricket much later, yes.
Now, you did your Ranji debut at a relatively young age, 18. Were you nervous at that age?
Well, it's rather difficult to say that I don't think I was nervous, but because I was determined to play Ranji cricket, at least to start with, because I had played some little bit of university cricket and junior state cricket, as they call it, which probably leads the way to the Ranji cricket. So I was looking forward to it. Of course, yes. I mean, if someone says that he's not nervous, I think he's definitely not saying the right thing. But I look forward to it with a lot of optimism.
Now, you mentioned university cricket. In fact, I believe it was a superlative performance for the All India Universities team that really established you. Do you remember that game?
Oh, yes, very distinctly, for various reasons. In actual fact, I think before the selection of the university team, that is the All India varsity team, to play Sri Lanka, who were probably Ceylon at that time, were touring India for the first time, 1964. I'd gone to the college and reading the paper that morning, one of my colleagues was asked to report for selection. My name was not there. So I congratulated him, and he was pretty upset about the whole thing because we had almost grown together to play cricket. And I was a bit disappointed, definitely. That at least I thought, if not in the team, I would probably get a selection trials. So later on in the evening, I went and mentioned it to Mr. Sriraman, and he was a bit upset as well, and he had seen the news item. So he, in fact, talked to one selector, Mr. Ghulam Ahmad, I think, and then said, why don't you have a look at him? That's why I got a look into it. Then I went to the selection trials, and I was fortunate enough to get selected.
And in fact, you went on to take 6 wickets in the first innings as well, didn't you?
Yes, that was at Chepauk, one of my favorite grounds, Madras, hometown. And it was a good wicket, not a great spinning track or whatever it is. So I think the selectors were reasonably impressed with the performance.
And it wasn't long after that you got chosen to play for India. You were only 19, and your first match was against New Zealand in Madras. That was another memorable moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think the transition was very quick from university cricket playing against touring Sri Lankans or Ceylonese team at that time. And in actual fact, again, one more thing happened just before that first test match. Now that you mentioned, I remember. I was not in the original 11.
So once again, fortune smiled on you.
Yes, I was the 12th man. And we had nets the previous day. After we finished at about 12 o'clock or something, Tiger Patodi came and said, Venkat, please be mentally prepared to play tomorrow, because Chandra is saying hurt his finger or something. I don't know about his fitness. So the next day morning, I came to know that I was playing.
And once again, 3 wickets in each innings.
Yes.
Obviously, surprise and success goes very nicely for you, doesn't it?
Well, you can add to that since certain disappointments as well.
There were some of those, but before we come to those, that particular series with New Zealand was quite a great start for you. You took 21 wickets in 4 tests, and I think in the 4th one in Delhi, you took a record 12 for 150 something.
Yes, 12 for 152, yes. I thought, on a wicket like Farosha Kotla, which is normally very, very placid, that hardly ever helps the bowlers. It's supposed to be bowler's graveyard. I thought my performance was pretty good.
But you know, as you said, side by side with success came disappointment. And after this great start, so often you found yourself out of the team. Do you think this was because of bad luck, or was it because the competition was particularly strong?
No, I wouldn't say it was bad luck. Definitely not. I mean, I felt bad that I was not picked. I was not given more opportunities. That's a different thing. But at the same time, you should remember, during that period, we had 4 of us competing probably for 3 places. It is sort of merry-go-round sort of thing. Prayas was there, same off spinners, both of us. And Bishan, of course, left arm. Chandrasekhar with his freak bowling.
So it is a question of one bowler too many for the country.
Precisely. I mean, it is rather difficult to play 4. You have to pick 3. So.
But despite the ups and downs, by 1971 you were vice-captain, and many people, particularly of admirers, say that the 8 games that India played against the West Indies and England in that year were perhaps a golden period for you. Would you accept that?
Well, it was a golden period for me, and it was a golden period for the Indian cricket as well.
The two went together?
The two went together, because in 1971 was the first time we beat West Indies in West Indies, and 71, the later half of the year, we beat England for the first time in England. So.
And you ended up, I think, with amazing figures, 35 wickets in 8 matches.
Yes, I think it was a pretty good run.
But again, from that moment of glory, bad luck began happening again in 74 when Wadekar stepped down as captain and was replaced. Everyone thought that you'd be picked because you were the vice-captain, but they didn't choose you. Was that difficult to handle?
Well, yes, you need a hell of a lot of mental character and strength as well as those things to handle, because it is a terrible disappointment. Because 74, I remember, it was, I think Wadekar had retired and Tiger Patodi had taken over as the captain.
That's right, they brought him back.
Yeah, Tiger Patodi captained the first test at Bangalore, where I thought I did reasonably well. I got the Best Bowlers Award as well. And then 75, second test match at Delhi. And probably the selectors were in a quandary as to whom should they appoint, because Sunil Gavaskar, who was probably next in line, he was injured. So I came to know about my captaincy only about a few hours before the test match.
That's the amazing thing, December 74, and literally they gave you 2 hours notice.
That's right.
That must have shaken you, because A, you probably didn't expect it, and then to just have 2 hours notice means that you're very unprepared.
Absolutely, yes. Captaincy is quite a difficult task. I mean, you've got to be mentally prepared. It's not only that you've got to think for yourself, but you've got to think for 10 others as well. So to be asked to captain a side within 2 hours, it's pretty difficult.
Now, in fact, it wasn't the greatest game to have to be captain for the first time. India lost to the West Indies, I think I'm right by saying, by an innings and 17 runs. It all turned on umpire Madhav Ghatoskar's decision not to give Viv Richards out. You were the bowler. Tell me, what did it look like from your side?
I thought it looked pretty obvious from our side. In fact, the close-in fielders, Farouk, myself, everybody went up instantaneously. There's no question of any doubt in our mind.
He was clean caught.
Yeah, there's no question of bad pad or whatever it is. If it's a bad pad decision, one can sympathize with the umpire. It's rather difficult to judge. But here it was stroke well, played well outside the body and caught behind the wicket. And
so bad umpiring, really, if one can call it that?
I mean, it's difficult to say it's bad umpiring, but it is a bad decision.
He admitted as much in his book, I believe, many years later. Did that make you feel a certain sense of vindication?
Well, rather too late, isn't it? I don't know what would have happened if he had given him out at that particular point of time. Probably my whole captaincy was at stake. We might have turned around the table. We might have won the test match.
The tragedy is he was at 12 at that point and then went on to score 192.
Oh, one of those magnificent innings. There's no doubt about it. He played exceptionally well. And it established Viv Richards as a leading West Indies batsman. And from then on, he never looked back. I mean, probably if he had been given out,
it could have been a career nipped in the bud.
I don't think so, because I always believe that talent can never be suppressed. It can be delayed.
The sad part is that you suffered for it, because in the very next game they demoted you from captain straight to 12th man. I mean, did they ever explain the logic of this incredible change?
I don't think they're ever in the habit of explaining things to players. They never explained why a particular person was dropped, or what logic or whatever it is. That it was a big letdown. But I had the mental character to face that as well.
It must have taken a lot of mental character to return to the field a second time, having been captain on the previous, and suddenly you're back with a drinks trolley.
Well, yes, it did happen. But I had a mental resolve that if I keep performing and playing well, they cannot sideline me for a long time. So I would definitely get my dues.
So it was your toughness, really, that saw you through those bad days?
Mental strength, yes, definitely, yes.
But you came back as captain. You captained India through both the first World Cup, 75 and 79.
Yeah.
The first went quite well, but the second was a bit disappointing, wasn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately, the second one, even though by that time we had had enough experience. The first one, of course, was we were all draw to first class, one-day cricket. Probably only 2 or 3 of us had played one-day cricket. Farouk, who played for Lancashire, Bishan, Northants, myself for Derbyshire, we had some experience of one-day cricket. But 79, by the time we had enough experience, but somehow or the other we couldn't transform into victories. I remember that particular match against New Zealand, the second one. We had a very good chance of winning. Had a couple of catches been taken. I distinctly remember Glenn Turner, who played a big role in that match. If he had been caught earlier on, we would have put tremendous pressure on the New Zealand.
So again, a mixture of luck and perhaps a little bit of bad play, the team not hanging together.
I would think so, yes. A little bit of bad luck, and probably we didn't play to our potential.
In fact, the sad part is disappointment dogged you, because shortly after there was the Oval Test in 79 when India sort of failed to win by 8 wickets and it ended up a draw.
Yeah, I thought it was a brilliant chase, no doubt about it. No one ever gave India a chance the previous day. And Sunil and Chetan, Venkataraghvan, everybody batted exceptionally well. And we came so close to winning that test match, it is unbelievable. Yeah,
in fact, the sad thing is when you come so close and don't win, it's also very disappointing, isn't it?
It is. That's what cricket is all about. That's why cricket is a game of glorious uncertainties.
And so much of the game is actually played with mental resilience in the mind.
Absolutely. I always believe that it is a game where brain and brawn go together.
Sadly, that Oval series which ended also finished off your captaincy. Am I right in saying that the news that Gavaskar had replaced you was actually announced on the flight back to India?
Very true. I'm glad you mentioned that. I thought that it was absolutely weird and stupid for the captain to announce it during the flight. And Sunil, and I believe, was sitting about 2 or 3 seats next to me. And he was so embarrassed, and he came and apologized, and he said he felt very sorry. Every single member felt sorry. And there was no need for anyone to do that.
Just sheer tactlessness and thoughtlessness.
Absolutely. Or probably he was a great fan of Sunil, and so he wanted to convey, but he could have conveyed to Sunil, not on the PA, but quietly he could have sent a message.
Let me put this to you. Commentators often said that you were perhaps the greatest captain the Tamil Nadu side has had and one of the best South Zone skippers, but as captain of India, you didn't show the same flair. Would you accept that?
I don't think I'll accept that, because you need a certain amount of continuity and consistency as far as captaincy is concerned. You can't just captain one test match and then go out and come back and take the reins. So it's pretty difficult. I mean, you've got to...
You need the support of the selectors behind you.
Yes, not only that, you've got to get to know the people. I mean, it is, after all, man management. You've got to think, as I said earlier, you've got to think for 10 others. You're not thinking for yourself. So you've got to get the best of 10 other people. I mean, if you have a long reign, probably, then you might be able to achieve. Okay. That's what I did as far as South Zone and Tamil Nadu was concerned.
The same opportunity never came as captain of India.
Yeah, it was rather unfortunate, but it was a bit of a disappointment in 79. I think if we had probably won that last test match, things could have been different.
Quite right. History could have been different if India had got those 9 extra runs.
That's right.
Okay, Venkat, let's take a break. Now, I want to come back in part 2 and talk about all the other things you've done connected with cricket once you stop being a test cricketer. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. Stay with us. Welcome back. My guest is Srinivas Venkataraghvan. Your cricket career spanned 18 years, and I gather some 76 times during that period you took more than 5 wickets in an innings. And yet, no one could have had such a checkered career as well. Do you think you've got the recognition you deserve?
Yes, it's rather difficult to explain that. Yes, I did have the performances to back my claims for honours and all that sort of thing, but what I do feel is the fact that at a particular point of time, I was, of course, rated the world's best as far as bowling is concerned, and fielding I was rated one of the best in the world. But where I probably went wrong, to a certain extent, in retrospect, when I think about it, I think I should have probably concentrated more on my batting. In which case, I could have probably been a genuine all-rounder, could have played for regularly in the Indian side.
Is that a regret today?
Very much a regret, yes. Definitely, I would say that.
But you also had a lot of bad luck, didn't you? I mean, there was a particular spell when you went from vice-captain to an ordinary player to captain to 12th man. I mean, when a career yo-yos like that, it's very difficult to keep your stride and keep your confidence going.
That's where you've got to have your equipoise, your mental equanimity. That's much more important. If you love the game that much, you keep on playing, and you want to strive hard and do well. And I always believed in the fact that put the selectors on a spot by your performance, by sheer dint of weight of your performance.
So there's a real sense in which you were challenging them, weren't you?
Absolutely, yes, by sheer weight of your performances.
Love the game, as you said, is something you certainly did, because you've seen it from almost every vantage point, as a bowler, a captain, a manager, a selector, an umpire, a referee, and a curator. Which of the many was the best way of playing the game?
Obviously playing. There's no two opinions about it. Playing and being in the middle, that's the thing, the best
That's
one.
where the fun and excitement is.
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, there's no thrill in signing as an umpire showing a 6 rather than hitting one, isn't it?
But you gave yourself a stint as a selector to try and rectify some of the mistakes made against you. In '89, you spent 2 years. It's often said that because the Indian selection process is zonal-based, we end up picking players sometimes for the wrong reasons. Would you agree with that?
It's rather difficult to generalize that. I won't agree saying that it's always fixed on zonal basis. Sometimes it might look to an outsider that happens, but as a selector, I do believe that you've got to see whether an individual is capable of playing at the highest level at that particular point. Whether it is Ranji Trophy or Duleep Trophy or Test, the selector's job is to pick someone X, Y, or Z, and should be convinced that he is good enough to play at that level, and also give him a long rope.
So commentators and cricketers sometimes unfairly criticize selectors.
I think so. It's a difficult job. I mean, India is a vast country. I mean, it's extremely difficult.
And it is important to give everyone a sense or a chance to play for the country.
Absolutely. Because, I mean, one thing, selection is going to be tough, in the sense that only 11 can be picked. Someone in the fringe areas would be left out. But those who are left out will feel bad, those who are get in. But there are times when you feel that someone who doesn't deserve is gotten. That is the time that all sorts of these allegations come up. But I feel a selector's job is to see the talent and not the scores. If the selectors were to go by scores, you might as well feed it into a computer, and that would give you the entire side.
True. Now, the other thing you've done also is umpiring. Was it difficult to translate from being a test player and a one-day player into an umpire? Did you have to relearn the game?
I don't think so. In fact, I always advocate this to the youngsters. If you want to play cricket, first and foremost thing, you've got to know the rules and the laws of cricket. You've got to be abreast of what's happening.
Do you find that many times cricketers actually don't know the rules as well as they should?
Oh yeah. Most of them don't know.
Was that your case too when you were a young cricketer?
Well, I learnt it rather fast, and when I became the captain, I made it a point to discuss the laws of cricket with the umpires, and I made sure that I knew, and probably some of them, I put them to test as well, and put them on the back foot as well. So that's what I did. But because, as a captain, you got to know the laws of cricket back and forth, and that helped me to the transition.
The amazing thing is that you actually not just made the transition to umpire, but you've been one of the most successful umpires in the world. You have a particular record at Lord's, don't you? That's unique to you.
Oh yes, I think I've got a record which probably someone can equal it. Probably up to now, I'm the only one who has played, captained and umpired at Lord's, both in one-day cricket as well as test matches. And probably there'll be someone coming along the years to come who would probably equal it, but I don't think...
They'd have to invent a new form of cricket for someone to break it, wouldn't they?
Right.
You also were witness in '95, I believe, to an amazing streaking incident, weren't you, when you were umpiring?
Oh yeah, this is up here in National Grid. They're the sponsors, and they had asked me to say what is the most embarrassing moment or whatever it is, and saying here is this lady who streaked into Lord's Test match on the 3rd or 4th day, England versus West Indies, and saying it was absolutely amazing. I mean, I couldn't believe it, and I don't know whether Shep was standing with me was more embarrassed than anybody else.
And I gather she jumped right over the wicket straight in front of you.
They ran the entire 22 yards and
faster than any of the batsmen would have run, huh?
Yeah, probably. I mean, she wouldn't have been run out.
Let's talk a little about your personal life. You got married in 1974 to your wife Rajni. Where and how did you meet?
Oh yes, in fact, much earlier than that. There's the same family friends, probably as early as 1967 or 68.
So she was a sort of childhood sweetheart?
It's not like that, but I'd known them. But they were not living in France. They're probably our father was working for Lipton's in Nagpur, and then they were transferred to Calcutta. They were never in Madras.
Was it a love marriage or was it an arranged marriage?
It was very much an arranged marriage.
You have two wonderful sons. They're not cricketers, but they've done as well in another field, haven't they?
Oh, well, they could have done better in the sense that, of course, Vikram and Vinay won the tennis hardcore doubles under 18, 93. Vikram won the singles as well in that year. And Vikram also was selected to be the standby in Davis Cup. That's the highest that he ever got to.
So when you say they could have done better, is that a proud father saying they could have achieved more, or are you just a pusher for them?
Oh, yes. I always believe that if you have the talent, you've got to push them. And I think they responded very well. And they were, natural sportsmen. They are natural sportsmen. There's no two opinions about it.
Your colleagues who've known you for years as a young cricketer said when he was a young man, he had a short temper. Today, as you're nearing 55, has age mellowed you?
Well, yes, it is how someone perceives, isn't it? I mean, short temper, yes, but it's better to have a short temper rather than a deep-rooted, animosity. Because when you have a short temper, you immediately come out with it, and then the whole thing is forgotten. I just forget the whole thing the next minute. I don't have anything with animosity or anything towards anyone.
Is this one reason why, despite all the disappointments and sometimes the humiliations that you have to suffer, you don't have any bitterness?
Oh yeah, but that needs a hell of a lot of mental equanimity. I mean, it needs a lot of insight into probably reading a lot of books and learning from that. And today, definitely, as you rightly said, I'm not as short-tempered as I was about 20, 25, 30 years back. But still, if I can't stand,
You can blow your fuse pretty easily even now if you have to.
Oh, yes, if I have to, but I hope I don't have to.
Now, I'm told that you're an astrologer. Tell me, what does the future hold?
Well, the astrology is a hobby. I mean, I do believe that I took it up some time back, and I'm interested in it. So it's a fascinating science.
Do you read your horoscope regularly?
It's an indicative science. I don't have to read my horoscope regularly.
You know it?
Yeah, naturally, one knows it. But it's always a guide. I use it as a guide. It's an indicative science.
It's your guide to the future, your own personal guide.
Yes, that's how I look at it.
Well, Venkat, good luck. I'm sure your guide will take you a long, long way, and thank you very much for a wonderful interview.
Thank you very much, Karan. Nice meeting you. Pleasure.
Thank you.